There had been fresh reports of atrocities up the creek by a secluded ravine under a cliff that had acted as a waterfall during times of excessive rainfall. Executions, tortures. This was breaking news, and I needed to shine the light of truth on it. But time was slipping away. A helicopter was coming to bring me back, as my time in the field was running dangerously low, as the sun started on its downward trajectory. I needed to press my escort into moving faster. I started bullying them into moving, with little success. But that changed as a second team of ESAF men approached the water purification machinery from our south. One look at these men, and my escort rapidly gathered each other and tried to move on. "Come now, Press, we need to go now. Let's go," my bodyguard said, as the second team approached. "What are these men doing here?" I asked. "Are they to help escort us up?" No, these men are here on a humanitarian mission," he responded. "As you may imagine, Seekers, the idea of the ESAF embarking on a humanitarian mission after their actions of the previous day seemed more absurd than ever, so such a claim naturally aroused my suspicions. Suspicions that were later proven correct. As we were hustled away from the site of the water purifier, our usual slow pace meant that my escort wasn't able to move me away quickly enough before their less aware comrades started discussing how to utilize the explosives they had to destroy the water purifier. A discussion that I managed to capture on camera.
In that vicinity, yes, 57. Okay.
Something just went beep at the water purifier.
He's right behind us. Okay. Can you take a detachment? Okay, we need to move up then. I'm going to take Press to the base of that tree over there. Marco, can you
interesting.
take William and clear up that hill, see if you can get the...
With this evidence, my bodyguard had an admission to make. That the second team were sent here to destroy the purifier, an act, he claimed, that would cut off this vital resource from the militia and reduce their fighting ability. When I asked him about the civilians that this action would affect, he told me that the ESAF would look after them with airdrops of water.
You're saying that you've destroyed the water purifier?
We have attempted to destroy the water purifier in this location. It's being used as a point for the EIM scum to resupply, and we will do humanitarian water drops from our helicopters into the refugee camps to ensure that the people that need water are getting water, and the enemy is denied access to this critical resource, so that we can suppress and pacify the uprising in Delcar province.
So even though refugees have used this water purifier before, this is not going to impact their lives?
It's not going to impact their lives. As stated, we're going to bring in water, and it's going to be flavoured water, and it's going to have all the essential nutrients that they need.
Alright, thank you.
I did not press him further, but I considered this a flawed plan, as these airdrops would no doubt be intercepted by the army of insurgents, just as the water purification plant had been. But, in the field amidst an army of psychologically dangerous men, it seemed foolish to press the point. With a cloud of smoke and dust signaling that their poorly considered task was complete, the second team joined my escort to form a formidable force, and together we continued up the creek to the falls in the foothills. It seems, Seekers, that the free voice is not appreciated by everyone in Enunion. For reasons that will become clear, I believe that the press center was infiltrated by agents of the militia, feeding me false information as a way to silence the voice of truth. As we closed in on the falls, now close enough for us to see, there was a tremendous snap. My escort instantly reacted, firing somewhere ahead of us in the direction of the falls. I, to my great shame, Seekers, am not sure of what happened next. My head was still spinning from the force of the shot simply passing by me. From what I had witnessed of the assistance force, I couldn't trust them to leave whatever evidence was there by the falls untampered with. I needed to beat the ESAF to the site. So it was that with only my bodyguard at my side, I rushed ahead of the fire, past the very front of the fighting. Perhaps it was that I was still heady after narrowly avoiding the shot from whatever large weapon was fired at me, but the great personal risk of the act didn't really connect. But by the time I had reached the falls, it was all over. The sniper team, consisting of 2 well-camouflaged assailants, lay dead, and my escort asked me to take photographs of the 2 bullet-riddled bodies. I did not know the significance of this man and his clothing at the time, but it was later revealed that these were assassins, specifically told to target me as I made my investigation. Assassins that my escort were well aware of, but had failed to inform me. There was nothing else of note about the falls. The entire story had been a trap set up by EIM agents. We left the falls, my escort now much more relaxed after the assassins had been located and dealt with. We headed back down the gully along the goat track used by the locals, when there came a second ear-shattering fusillade of snaps as automatic weapons on a bulge above us opened fire. A second team of EIM had closed in and had taken the opportunity to lie in wait as their first group of assassins were shot. My bodyguard and a second man were instantly gunned down, not a meter away from me. The shots cracked dizzyingly past my person, until inevitably some found their mark. My bulletproof vest caught the round, but its impact was like that of the most burly man you could find, swinging a sledgehammer into your ribs as hard as they could. The blow knocked me back, and I tumbled into the grass at the side of the track, legs half working, not even having the opportunity to tense for a sprint when the shot had hit. I lay there, stunned, still very much in sight of the assailants who I hadn't managed to pick out from the scrub. The ESAF, though, credit where it's due, reacted immediately. Their bloodlust is not just for innocent civilians, it seems. The second team of EIM assassins were hardly able to get a second inaccurate burst-off at me before the escort rolled over them. This fresh attack reminded both me and the ESAF that this is still a war zone, where anything could happen at any time. It was with a last rushed backward look that I paid my respects to the men who had taken the bullets meant for me, before the surviving escort hurried me away from the ambush and led me back towards the pickup point, where the helicopter would take me out of the operational area and back to the press center. A much faster trip, as both they and I were eager to leave the site of so much carnage. As I flew away from the guns and the blood on the ground, although I have no love for the assistance force, I must extend my thanks and condolences to the men who died so that the truth may live on. For those few who have earned my respect, this report is in memory of them. This will be my final report, Seekers, until the battle for Enunion starts to gain heat again, as it inevitably shall. For my own safety and the safety of the truth, I need to go underground as the attempts against my life are investigated, and those responsible are captured. But rest assured, Seekers, as the truth is buried, and the lives of those who would see the true Enunions enslaved and our beautiful country taken from us, I shall return to bring light back into the world, and to shine it into the dark corners and expose the filth that lives there. Stay vigilant, true Enunions. This has been the truth, for the truth seekers.